This week,
students explore the trades at the MTI Expo.
Yearbook releases the latest edition of The Warrior.
MCHS introduces a new class for aspiring teachers.
Students get yoked in the weight room.
We welcome fall at Richardson's Farm.
And Stats runs the annual Barbie Drop experiment.
All of that and more on the Warrior Weekly.
Good morning, Warriors, and welcome to this week's edition of the Warrior Weekly, presented by Warrior Student Media. I'm Madison Harvey.
And I'm Vanessa Etherton. Today we look into a brand new class at MCHS and drop the most famous toy ever from a balcony.
But first, this past Wednesday, MCHS hosted its annual Manufacturing, Technology, and Industry Expo in the halls of Upper Campus.
This past week, MCHS's hallways were taken over by the MTI Expo. Mrs. Karen Burmeister, the head of this event, explains what the MTI Expo is for the community.
So it stands for Manufacturing, Trades, and Industry. And what we like to do is we like to bring in the community members and businesses who may not be the traditional path for students of going to a four-year university. The point is to really expose our students to other avenues after high school of careers that maybe they've never thought of.
Eric Kaufman from TC Industries explains why the company comes to the expo.
One of the main things is just to communicate to the students what type of opportunities and careers exist out there in manufacturing, teach them a little bit about what we do specifically and what specific careers that we could offer them after high school.
Tyler Schneider, working for Fabrique Molded Plastics, participated in the MTI Expo so that students could gain an insight for what the working field consists of.
I just hope that they learn a little bit more about manufacturing in McHenry and in McHenry County, and that manufacturing isn't always a dark dungeon, and it's can be a really fun, fast-paced work environment.
Going to the MTI Expo gives students an insight on what the workforce is like, but there are many other benefits that you can receive from it.
We've actually had a couple of students go on to do internships with some of these companies that come in, and then it's led to a job for them. And for the employers that come in, they're hopefully getting applicants.
MCHS holds this event every year and provides students with a new and fresh pathway for their future. Thank you for the companies who came to the expo. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Emberlyn Carlson, Maggie Machashik, and Allie Casey. Have a great week, Warriors.
The annual Fall Choir Concert is tonight, Warriors. Come and see our different levels of choir sing their hearts out in the Upper Campus Auditorium. Doors open at 6:30 p.m.
Next, The Warrior, McHenry High School's yearbook, is set to debut in the coming weeks. Warrior Student Media has the story.
The yearbook class will be releasing the new edition of the yearbook in the next few weeks. The 2022 and 2023 McHenry High School yearbook will be available for those who have purchased one. Yearbook teacher Ms. Goy explains how this year's yearbook is different from the ones in the past.
This year's version of the yearbook is unique because it is something that both Mr. Stengel and I worked on with our classes. So we had two separate classes that combined and came up with the theme and collaborated and mixed everything up together and made the whole yearbook. So it was cool.
Ms. Goy fills us in on how long the process takes to make the yearbook.
To make the yearbook, it definitely takes the entire school year and then some of summer, so almost a full year, because it goes through to June, and then the planning starts even before school.
Students play a significant role in creating the yearbook. Senior Isis Flores shares her experience in the yearbook class.
So my experience right now, we are kind of just like taking pictures, trying to get ready for our spreads, but I mean, it's been really fun. I like the people that are in my group and in my class, so yeah.
Be sure to be on the lookout for the yearbook release date. Reporting the Warrior Weekly, we are Juan Mendez, Aaron Durante, Grace Summers, and Mika Do.
Now, each year, McHenry introduces more and more electives, one of them being the Teaching as a Profession class. This class prepares students who are interested in working in the education field.
Teaching as a Profession is a newly introduced course at the Upper Campus this year. Ms. Edwards elaborates further on how this class prepares students on teaching in the future.
So TAPS was created for kids that want to become teachers. So there's two levels. The first level kind of talks about the history of education, the ins and outs of teaching. We're doing a lot of hands-on projects just to try to get them the idea of what teaching is all about. And then the second level is where they're actually going to go do 15 hours of observation, 5 in elementary school, 5 in middle school, 5 in high school. So they really get the idea of what it's like and also help them to figure out if this is the career they want to do or not, and also what level they want to teach.
Senior Gavin Schutze explains on how the class influences to be a teacher.
I think it influences me through, we just go through a lot of like the teaching scenarios. Like one of the first projects we did is like we actually taught the class on teaching in like a specific time period. Like I taught like teaching in the 70s, so that was really cool. Like being able to have that creativity, come up with the lesson, and also come up with the activities to like engage the class. I really like tabs a lot, mainly just because it's a very true and clear like teaching of like the ups and downs of teaching. There's no like fantasy, it's not like, oh, it's all sunshines and rainbows. It's very real, which I think is just very cool, and I appreciate the real aspect of it.
Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Alex Julio, Braden Mosoff, Callie Kortemash, and Cameron Mitchell.
Next, we take a look at McHenry's state-of-the-art weight room and how it positively impacts all of the MCHS students. Warrior Student Media has the story.
A popular gym class in MCHS is strength and conditioning. Take a look into other students' eyes and see what inspires them and why they like the class.
So I can lift to get stronger for baseball.
I have the same reason, just baseball and stuff like that.
I like the aspect of the weight room and lifting with all your friends there and like helping each other out.
Lifting with all our friends and having Bierbauer to help us with everything as well.
Coach Bierbauer shares what his position is in the school and what he enjoys about teaching it.
Well, I got the best job in the school. I really believe that. I enjoyed coaching individual sports over the years, but my role the last few years has allowed me to work with all the teams, and I enjoy that. You do miss the competition side of being out there when the athletes are competing, but getting to work with them when they're off season, when we're trying to build cohesiveness and build their confidence and their strength. That's where I found I really enjoy it the most, encouraging the kids.
Sophomores in strength talk about why they took strength class and what they overall like about strength and conditioning.
Friends and the community.
I enjoy just like getting lifting and having fun.
Just like the atmosphere in the weight room.
Lifting heavy weight.
If you're interested in taking strength and conditioning next year, talk to your counselor. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Oscar Koloje, Marco Vizhnovac, Travis Kokinos, and McKenna Harvey.
Happy fall, y'all!
Warrior Student Media visited Richardson's Adventure Farm, a place filled with fun fall festivities for everyone.
Located in Spring Grove, Illinois, Richardson's Adventure Farm is a popular place during the fall season. The farm allows for fun family and friend gatherings and offers plenty for all ages.
Most corn mazes, pumpkin patches are designed around little kids, parents with young kids. I think we're very unique in that we're open late at night, so we get a wider range of clientele, customers, that attracts different things like that. We let dogs onto our farm. People love their dogs, and not every farm allows that because there's a liability with that. And we just had thousands of people come out with the kids and the dogs and grandma and grandpa, and we have a plethora of space. A lot of things are too close together on some other farms, and when people come, they want to feel the country air. They want to feel the openness, and it just brings a good feeling to you. And so that's one of our specialists, besides being the world's largest corn maze.
A wide variety of treats and goods are homemade and available for purchase in shops spread throughout the farm. We make donuts, sell them, make funnel cakes, make apple blossoms. We do the whole process. We learn how to do everything. Richardson's amenities spread across 544 acres, including the renowned world's largest corn maze, and allow visitors a day packed full of fun.
Oh, so many things, especially if you're a big group. We have the fire pits that you can reserve for up to 4 hours. We supply all the wood. The guys will come around and keep that going. You can bring in your own food carts and leave it there. And then you can, of course, the maze. We have zip lining, the Zorb, there's the carousel, the train, and we also have beer tasting and the petting zoo. We have all kinds of things for people to do that are included with the entry of the farm.
Once fall ends and winter begins, Richardson's will remain open for pre-cut or cut your own Christmas tree sales. For more information, visit richardsonsadventurefarm.com. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we're Maddie Spencer, Riley Byron, and Alyssa Thomas.
Finally, stats classes move away from the numbers and head out into the halls for their annual Barbie Drop.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, drop!
It's a bird. It's a plane. Nope, it's Barbie. This past week, the Warriors practiced their stats skills with the speed and rubber band that it takes Barbie to take flight.
Math teacher Stephanie Lucas explains how the Barbie Drop is now an MCHS tradition.
So we've been doing the Barbie bungee drop in a couple different forms over the last 5 or 6 years. We were inspired by some other teachers who were utilizing this as a strategy for engaging students in statistics. So we basically have had our entire unit revolve around the idea of eventually dropping Barbie from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor, and predicting how many rubber bands it'll take for her to get as close as possible to the ground without hitting her head. So with this experiment in particular, we're looking at 2 quantitative variables of data. So the 2 quantitative variables are how many rubber bands are we adding to Barbie, and then how far is she going to fall. And so students only get to collect the data for 0 to 7 rubber bands, and then they have to make a prediction of how many rubber bands they need to get her close to the ground, but again, to try to not hit the ground. So the statistics behind it is regression and looking at, again, if you look at like scatter plots, what's the pattern in the scatter plot, and determining if that pattern will continue and trying to make a prediction in the future. It's something that happens a lot in the real world, so we kind of used a more fun real world context of dropping Barbie. So it's actually a lesson that I've seen other teachers do. So we took it for ourselves. A lot of teachers collaborate on social media, and so I saw that a teacher was doing it on social media. And when I started implementing a slightly different curriculum for statistics, I thought that was such a great way to get students engaged and do something kind of fun in what otherwise could be perceived as maybe not the most fun class, AP Statistics.
Senior Lucas Rose and his team won this year's Barbie Drop, and he explains his keys to success.
I thought it was great. Public execution Barbie did not hit her head, and she survived, and we won. I learned that a lot of the groups in our class had a lot less rubber bands, and they tried to get us to take off rubber bands, but we ended up winning. So, it was a good break from the usual math learning experience.
All right.
Reporting for the Warrior Weekly are Jack Fisher, Rylan Davis, Emily Ostrander, and Juliana Fontaneda.
That's all for today's show. Be sure to follow the Warrior Weekly on all social media platforms, including Twitter, Insta, and TikTok.
For Madison Harvey and all of Warrior Student Media, I'm Vanessa Etherton. Have a great week, Warriors!